Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Now we will discuss about the nature of consciousness. What is consciousness? In English, when we use the word consciousness, most of the time we use in the place of awareness or alertness. So, I am very conscious about the surroundings. All these statements we say. According to Vedanta Shastra, consciousness is our own nature. It is not an action. When we say I am conscious of the situation, consciousness, it is not abstract noun, it is conscious of the situation means as an action. But according to Vedanta, we use the name called Chaitanya. For consciousness, we use Chaitanya Vastu. The Chaitanya is absolute consciousness, the true consciousness. It is not an action. So, that consciousness or Chaitanya is not a product or property of the body. It is not product, property of the mind also. It is an independent entity which is not at all connected with the body and mind. Like space. Even though we build house in the space, space is not at all connected with anything. In Sanskrita, we use the word asanga, detachment. So, it is totally detached from the body and mind. Consciousness is entirely separate from the body and mind. So, that is the one thing. First thing is, it's not a product, property, product of the body. Second aspect is, it is an independent entity. But that consciousness gives the reflection to the mind. That means it enlivens the body and mind. So, we call it as a reflected consciousness. When we say, I am able to understand, I am seeing, I am listening, I am understanding, I am thinking, this is also action of the consciousness only, but it is not pure consciousness. This is called reflected consciousness. Chaitanya Abhasa we call it. So, the pure consciousness has given the Chaitanya to mind, mind has transferred the Chaitanya to body, therefore, body is also seems to be sentient. Mind is sentient, body is looking sentient because mind has transferred the consciousness to the body. So, this is not pure consciousness, it is reflected consciousness, Chaitanya Abhasa. So, therefore, consciousness, even though it is not at all connected with the body and mind, it enlivens the body and mind. Therefore, body and mind seems to be sentient. And this, what I told, the pure consciousness is not limited to the body and mind. It goes beyond the body, and in Sanskrit we call it Ananta, unlimited. Definition of Ananta is Deshatah, Kalatah, Vastutah, Aparichinna Vastu. It is not limited by the space, not limited by the time, it is not limited by the object. So, it pervades throughout the universe. If you want to say beyond the universe, it is not limited by the universe. Inside that consciousness, crores of universes are there. In that way we can say, like the space. Example is nearest example for that consciousness is the space itself. Even though a pot space seems to be inside the pot, it is not limited by the pot. The space goes beyond the pot and it pervades everywhere. In the same way, consciousness pervades everywhere. Ananta, it is unlimited. This is the third aspect. The fourth aspect is, when body and mind goes away or body dies, consciousness will not die, and it remains there. Since the media of reflection is not there, Therefore, it seems to be not sentient, but consciousness will not go anywhere. Body goes away, mind goes away, consciousness remains always the same. It is Nitya and Satya. Nitya means it is always there. Satya means is not going to change. Same form, it is in the same form. It is therefore it is called Satya. Yadrupena yad nishchitam tadrupam na vyabhicharati iti Satyam. So, in that way, consciousness is called Brahman. According to Vedanta Shastra, the God is nothing but that pure consciousness. So, when we say I am conscious of something, that is limited to the mind. So, that reflected consciousness is witnessed by this pure consciousness. This limited consciousness or reflected consciousness is witnessed by that pure consciousness. Therefore, it is called Sakshi. For that pure consciousness, another name is called Sakshi, witnesshood consciousness. So, that Sakshi Chaitanya is our true nature. When I say I, in the beginning, when I say I include the body, mind, the indriyas, everything, including everything, I say I. When I analyze through the Vedanta, you will come to know that I is not only body, mind, intellect or ego, the beyond that aspect something else is there, pure consciousness, that is also my true nature. After analyzing Vedanta through Guru and Shastra, you will come to know that pure consciousness is our own true nature. That is called Brahman, or in another way God or supreme consciousness. And that consciousness is not only in a particular body, it enlivens every body, like the same sun reflecting in different pots, pot water. In the same way, the supreme consciousness enlivens and gives life to each and every objects in this universe. And if you think little more, everything came out of that consciousness, everything goes back to that consciousness. Therefore, whatever the nama rupa, name and form we are experiencing is nothing but different form of that consciousness. So, consciousness is supporting that objects and still it is separate from all these things. So, that is called living in the present. When you abide in that consciousness, totally you come to the present. So, otherwise we live as per the individuality. Individuality means ego. The nature of ego is always thinking about past and future, because the past experience belong to me and future experience will going to disturb me. Therefore, I is always going front and back. So, whoever has identified that pure consciousness or Sakshi Chaitanya, his individuality is falsified. Because it is falsified, he is not identified with the ego. Therefore, he will not think about past and future. Past, whatever has happened, happened because we say it Leela, the game of that universal truth, and whatever will happen in the future is also is Leela of that universal truth. I am just witness of all the Leelas. Therefore, he will be totally in the present. Whatever what is happening in my surrounding, he is fully aware. So, this is the nature of that realized soul. He is called realized soul. If we want to reach that state, we have to practice this. Whatever the state of realized soul is the sadhana or practice for the normal man, ignorant person. So, we have to practice consciously to live in the present. So, that state of mind will take us to the Sakshi Chaitanya hood, the consciousness hood. Therefore, in our day-to-day transactions, we should be aware of the situations. We should be highly focused, alert about the present condition. That is, there is a book called Power of Now. Eckhart Tolle has written Power of Now, the capacity of presence. So, if you think little deeply, when we come to the present, the thought disturbance will reduce. The thought disturbance itself is sorrow. Dukkha is nothing but disturbance of thoughts. When you come to the present, there is no thought disturbance. If thoughts are there, you are not in present actually, you are past or future. So, in the present, there is no thought disturbance, therefore, mind is quiet. The quiet mind is nothing but the consciousness itself. The consciousness itself, when disturbed, becomes the mind, and the mind becomes quiet, it becomes consciousness. So, if we practice to live in the present, it takes us to the realization or abidance in our own true nature. Therefore, this is what I want to tell about the living in the present and pure consciousness. Hari Om Tat Sat.